It's Christmas, and the Dodgers got to unwrap the biggest Christmas present of all. Meanwhile, the Mariners were stuck with coal in their stockings once again. We'll talk a little bit about the Yoshinobu Yamamoto signing. We're going to keep it Christmas themed. We're going to talk about some guys on the Mariners we think need to get some Christmas bonuses, and we'll end with a little talk about favorite Christmas movies, Christmas songs. Why not? Thank you for watching episode 46 of the Hit It Here podcast, part of the Bleav Network. I'm here with Joe. Joe, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas on December 23rd. We are recording this.
Shut up!
Pulling back the veil, pulling back the curtain a
No,
little bit.
don't pull back the curtain, dude.
Why not?
Come on.
Why not?
It's Christmas.
Oh yeah, it's Christmas. Snow's falling down. It's good, we're good. I'm just upset that the Mariners don't really have any presents this year. I don't know what we did wrong to be on the naughty list to receive the coal in our stocking, like you said, but we're sitting here waiting again. The Yamamoto sighting has happened. We're waiting for something else to happen in free agency. If now it's, we have to wait for Cody Bellinger to sign, I'm going to lose my mind. And if that's the nature of how the free agency the whole offseason is just going to go, my hair, it's gone. It's underneath a beanie right now. It's going to be gone because I'm just going to rip it all out. I'm tired of waiting. But obviously, you mentioned the Dodgers got to unwrap the biggest present of all. They got Ohtani. They got the second guy as well, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Lay it down, dude. What's up with this contract?
The Dodgers have spent over $1 billion in free agency this offseason. Meanwhile, the Mariners are spending zero.
It's gone backwards.
Plain and simple, huh?
They've made negative. They've made negative money.
Yeah. They've spent negative money.
Yeah.
I guess that would mean they've made money. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Money's weird.
The fact of the matter is the entire nation of Japan is a Dodgers fan now.
Yes.
The whole country. Like the Dodgers went out there and signed the probably two biggest free agents. I mean, you can argue Cody Bellinger was a little bit bigger than Yamamoto, just depending on how you view it. But the fact of the matter is, these are the two biggest contracts that are going to be signed this year. And this was a 12-year, $325 million deal. Averages out to, I think, like 27-ish a year, which is less AAV than we expected for Yamamoto, but more years. I didn't think he'd get 12. I mean, that'll put him as a free agent at age 37. So basically his whole MLB career will be spent with the Dodgers. So
yeah,
it's interesting. It's a very interesting deal. I think that it makes sense. I mean, after they signed Ohtani, I feel like the writing was on the wall that Yamamoto was going to go there as well. And I think that rotation is incredible. Now, like once Ohtani's back and they have Glass now, Yamamoto and Ohtani, like at the top of the rotation and possibly re-signing Clayton Kershaw. And then you have, Bobby Miller or whoever else you want to throw there in that 5 spot. Best rotation in baseball if they're all healthy.
Yeah, it's definitely something that they needed to, I think, load up on is pitching. They've got the offensive star power, I feel like, already in-house. The pitching, along with injuries, has been a big problem for them, but getting Yamamoto, trading for Tyler Glass now, eventually when Ohtani's back to pitching, if he does come back to full strength, it's going to be a problem for any team going up against the Dodgers. And I want to say there's opt-outs in Yamamoto's contract. I think, is it after
year 6 and year 8?
Year 8, right? Yeah. And so maybe he won't be a Dodger for his entire career. Maybe he opts out after those 6 and then wants to cash in again at age 31. Maybe. But at this rate, dude, like I don't see why he just wouldn't want to ride it out, because you're going to have Ohtani there with you pretty much the entire time. You're going to have, the Dodgers have definitely, I think it's been a long time coming, but they've taken over as the franchise of baseball. It's no longer the New York Yankees. They're playing second fiddle to the Dodgers now, and it's even international now. You're mentioning like Japan as a country is going to back the Dodgers for a long time. This is not just going to be like, oh, they're the length of their contracts. No, this is going to be like a generational thing. There was, I think, a bit of generational love for the Mariners with Ichiro for a while. That is now the Dodgers, without a doubt in my mind. And it's good for them. I think it's good for baseball in general that like it is this level of international stardom. It's frustrating that, they get to have all the fun. And that's my bitterness. And maybe that's why I'm on the naughty list. Maybe that's why the Mariners haven't received anything from Mr. Claus this year. But I don't know. It's one of those things. Also, it is very boom or bust. If they don't pan out and win a World Series, everyone's going to be pointing fingers. And what's the issue? What is the problem? A lot can go right, but I don't even say a lot can go wrong, because I don't really foresee it happening. Maybe it takes them a year to get, all settled in, whatever. But this team is going to be a problem for a long time.
And I think what's interesting is the Dodgers are the only team over the last decade that has made it to the playoffs every single year. They only won one World Series. Obviously, that was in the COVID year in 2020.
Yeah.
But they were the only team in baseball to make it to the playoffs every single year for the last decade. And what do? They go out there and make their team even better. And that is the difference between teams like the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners didn't make the playoffs for 20 years. The Dodgers have done it every year for the last 10. And it's like the Mariners make the playoffs and they start cutting spending. They're like, okay, whoa, we made the playoffs. All right, pull it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is where I think that this whole, I hate bringing up this whole root sports, regional sports network thing because it's stupid, but this is just another excuse from the Mariners because this wasn't a problem in years past, yet they still didn't spend a ton of money. So it's not like all of a sudden they're like, oh no, gosh darn it. This is just this year's excuse as to why they're not spending money. And this is how you have an ownership group that cares, like the Dodgers, which obviously was not a thing until I think it was Magic Johnson and whoever else it was that ended up buying the Dodgers back in 2010 or something like that. I remember that deal. It was a very big deal when it happened. But after that, they started spending money like crazy because back then the Dodgers were one of the worst teams in baseball for a few years. And
they weren't the cream of the crop.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah.
And then they, a new ownership group came in, and then they've made the playoffs basically, not every year since, because it took a few years for them to get out of that rebuild, but now they've made it for 10 years straight, and it feels like they're going to make it for another 10. With this team and, the expanded playoffs, they should make it no matter what every single year. I feel like it's almost a guarantee at this point.
They will not miss the playoffs until 2101, the year 2101. Everyone will be dead. I'm just kidding. But...
Jesus,
it's a little aggressive. No, yeah, you're right. Like they should be penciled in every year, barring injuries, barring some sort of change in the format. Every year they should be going to the playoffs. A World Series or bust, maybe not. Maybe some other super team is formed. However it works, and we've seen super teams get formed in other sports, more singular player dominated sports like basketball as well. Also, not necessarily pan out. So a game like baseball, where it can be, so tricky how you navigate one guy trying to take over, it might not pan out every single year. And that's, I don't know if they themselves are going to set the expectations too high, but you're saying that the ownership group spending and whatever, there is, I think, also a difference. It's not a 1-to-1 comparison for the Dodgers and the Mariners by just the franchise themselves and the pedigree and the market. It's Los Angeles, it's the Dodgers. Everyone knows that they are in the S tier, tier 1 market for baseball. The Mariners are a step or two below them pretty easily. And in terms of attendance and just overall just profitability, the Dodgers are leagues and bounds, I think, ahead of the Seattle Mariners. But if we were to say take those percentages of how much the Dodgers had in attendance and had in terms of profit compared to their spending, and then how much the Mariners had, obviously the conversation there is the Dodgers spent $1 billion, the Mariners have spent $0. And that's where the problem lies, is that they're not spending anything.
The Mariners could not have gone out there and made these same moves. It wouldn't have been possible, and honestly, it wouldn't have been smart for this team.
Yeah.
The Dodgers, those are their finishing touches. You know what I mean? There are still some pieces they could add here or there. The Mariners are a lot further away than that.
Yes.
They need 4 bats at least. And, their pitching is great, but could be better in some aspects, such as the bullpen. In my opinion, I still think the bullpen needs help, but that's just me. And yeah, it's not a 1-to-1, like you said. It's the fact that the Mariners are spending nothing, and it's the fact that the whole sport is going through this regional sports network problem right now. Obviously, Bally Sports, went bankrupt or what have you, the Diamond Sports Group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the Mariners owning Root Sports should not stop them from doing this. And it's the whole sport is going through all this. Why are the Mariners the ones crying poor? And don't get me wrong, other teams are going to cry poor as well. There are plenty of other teams that have not. I think there's 5 or 6 other teams that haven't spent any money this offseason in terms of free agency.
Yeah.
But it's so frustrating to see teams go out there and they can win and they're already winning and they go and add, and then a team like the Mariners where the fans have been so hungry for 2 decades and they finally win and then they go out there and they don't do jack. It is so frustrating to watch. But that leaves me with the question, Joe. If the Mariners could have one present under their tree this offseason, who would it be?
Of the remaining pick, right? Because I don't think we can go and steal anybody else's present that they've already received. You know what I mean?
Right. I think we should also talk trades here as well.
Oh, okay.
Not just free agents, trades.
I think an easy cop out answer would be a new owner. I might pick a new owner underneath the tree
Okay,
to
yeah,
allow
true.
maybe some fresh eyes on the scene of just the whole operation of the Mariners. But I think I even with the money involved, I probably am just gonna go Cody Bellinger. I think
Hmm.
his fit for this team does make a lot of sense. He can go play the outfield. He'll play first base. He's a left-handed bat that I think will translate. There is obviously the worry about regression, and as far as a present goes, I'm not really worried about it at that point because it's a present. I'm not paying for it, right? I'm not paying for it. It's a present underneath the tree. Go get Cody Bellinger, wrap him up, put a little bow on his head, call it a day. Is that weird?
A little bit.
Okay. What about you? What present would you go
I'm
after?
picturing Cody Bellinger. He's like with a bow on his head. He's like,
I
you
think
know,
it.
because he
Yeah,
always looks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it'd look good.
My present would be one of the Reds infielders not named Jonathan India.
Okay.
Just that trade. That trade, I think, would just hit, you know? Let it be Spencer Steer, Matt McLean, what have you. I don't care. One of them.
Yeah.
Take your pick. Whatever one Bryce Miller will get you.
Okay.
Boom. Whatever one, or Bobby Miller, Jesus. Brian Wu.
Hmm.
Whatever one of those two will get you. I don't care.
I think Steer
Or
probably makes the most sense because he can
I
also
agree.
play the outfield. But
Hmm.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think So I don't know if the fit is there at this point with the Mariners because who the hell knows what they're gonna do. I don't. Talking about this team sucks right now, man. It just sucks the life out of you.
It's not fun.
Randy Rosarena, maybe. I don't care.
No.
Like
I
any
think
of
that
those
ship
guys.
has sailed.
Think so?
I'm more with you on the idea of the young controllable thing, like player, because then it allows more openings in
Hmm.
future free agent classes or trade avenues, what have you, because you're not going to be handicapped by having $9 million to Rosarena on your payroll. God forbid,
Oh
right?
man,
God forbid. It's just I think unfortunately for us, the Reds might just be asking for too much, or they'd be looking for a higher end guy. And that then maybe is like you're looking at Logan Gilbert, but like what package are you going to get back for Gilbert from the Reds? And if it's worth it at that point, I know people are really interested in bringing Noelvi Marte back. Like Steer, Marte, and like one other guy that's like lower end. Is that enough for Gilbert? I don't know. It probably
the
could
Reds
be,
would say no.
but
Absolutely
again, then
not.
the Reds would say no because that's too much to give up. And just I think as far as picking presents, a trade, it's one of the harder avenues to go for, and I commend you for being willing to stick your nose out there and see if there's anything available. I picked the easiest one out of the bunch. I said PS5 at the top of my list. Call it a day. Send. Right? Like you went like signed vinyl record from Bob Marley circa 1970. Like you went deep.
That would probably cost a lot, right? This is a really good transition.
I
Ready?
yeah.
That Bob Marley vinyl would probably cost a lot, Joe.
It could.
But you know what? The Mariners deserve a raise, right?
Some of them
Somebody,
do.
some of them do on the Mariners. But hey, before we talk about that, subscribe. Do it now. Thanks.
That was so aggressive.
Anyway, some of the Mariners players deserve a bonus for Christmas this year, and we're gonna hand one out here. We're both gonna pick a player. Joe, who you giving a bonus to?
Hey now. I understand that you were leading the segment there, but I picked my present first. I think it's only
Your present
fair.
sucked.
Why did it suck?
You were just like, eeny, meeny, Bellinger. All right. You didn't even try.
What do you mean I didn't try? Of
You
course I
didn't
tried.
even try.
Of course I tried. I also
I'm giving.
I gave
Shut up.
I picked
Stop
two
talking.
presents. I picked two presents. I
So
picked
did
the
I.
owner too. What do you mean?
I said, or Randy Rosarena.
Yours is a cop out.
Oh
My
my
player that's
God.
getting a Christmas bonus this year is Cal Raleigh because I think a Christmas bonus coming from the top down, it would help mend the relationship a little bit more. And even if there isn't some heartache there from Raleigh on his end about how he was maybe treated or asked to apologize or what have you with the whole comments at the end of the year, whether or not there's any truth to that, I think a Christmas bonus ending up on Cal Raleigh's doorstep would be a very nice way to say, hey, thank you for all that you did this past year. Top 5 catcher in baseball, easily improved offensively, improved defensively, went out there, gave his blood, sweat, and tears to the team when we needed him most because Tom Murphy was unavailable and we're not going to run out Brian O'Keefe nor Luis Torrens. Cal Raleigh's my pick.
Don't worry. We have Sebi Zavala now.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Yay.
How much you giving Cal? Like, what how much money you giving him in his bonus? You know what I mean? Like, who was he making league minimum last year? Let's say it doesn't affect payroll.
Oh, I said it's not affecting payroll, so I can go outside the range of the 25 million potentially.
Jeez, I mean, sure. How much do you think Cal was worth last year?
On top of his, I mean, I'm giving him like 10 mil,
Yeah.
pretty soundly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably more than that, probably like 15, 20, but knowing the Mariners ownership, 10. But
$5.
Here's a coupon for a nice haircut.
Here's a coupon for the Hatback Bar and Grill, which we own. So
there you go.
Okay, well, I feel like that was another pretty easy answer, but it's fine. You know, it's nice to know that you're not trying this Christmas. So so I'm gonna give mine to Matt Brash. All right, I'm gonna give Matt Brash a nice, cool, like $7 million check in the mail. Okay, because most games pitched by a reliever, Matt Brash had the most appearances in all of baseball. And you know what? At the start of the year, I was ranking on him. I was, because at the start of the year, he sucked.
It wasn't
Plain
good.
and simple. He was walking everybody. He was giving up runs left and right. He was put into bad situations. He was the fireman trying to put out the fire, and his hose just wasn't work. His hose wasn't working.
Yeah, I think that's a sound metaphor.
Yeah, but he came through. He pulled through and became probably the most valuable reliever, I think, on the team. I mean, obviously you can argue Paul Sewald at the time, then he got traded. Andres Munoz, Topa, and Spire were both big surprises. But I think Brash, in the end, when it's all said and done, was the most valuable. I think that he deserved a raise again from making the league minimum. And I mean, I could see him being worth $7 to $10 million right now. And I think that it's nice the Mariners don't have to pay him that much. I mean, the Mariners really aren't spending much money in their bullpen at all.
No.
I think that, I mean, I'm not going to do the math, but I think that I'm trying to think of anybody in that bullpen that's making over league minimum right now.
Andres Munoz, because he has that.
Well, right, because that extension. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, he might be the only one that's making more than like $1 million a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty good if you're the Mariners looking at that bullpen.
I mean, you looked at like what Reynaldo Lopez got $10 million a year. I'd rather have Matt Brash than Reynaldo Lopez personally.
Yeah,
I probably I mean, it's probably close, but I would probably pick Brash over Reynaldo Lopez, and getting $10 million a year. That's probably where your evaluation's probably pretty accurate.
Would you rather have Matt Brash on his current contract or Josh Hader on whatever he's going to get?
Matt Brash on his current contract. With how the Mariners operate, that's a big issue. If we're the Dodgers, go get Josh Hader. I don't care. I mean, they're already in talks to go trade for Emmanuel Clase, potentially. Bowden was reporting, or maybe that's just, him talking. But regardless.
That's all this offseason is.
It's just a bunch of
yappers yap. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that Matt Brash, Cal Raleigh, those are both solid picks, in my opinion. Like, I think guys that, not necessarily unsung heroes, but like guys that played above how much they were getting paid. Okay. So, more on this here Christmas podcast. Let's talk a little bit about Christmas movies. Your favorite Christmas movie? Mine is Elf.
I'm shocked that it's Elf.
It's a family tradition. We watch it every single Christmas. But if I have to go top 3 Christmas movies, all right, it's going to be pretty basic. I mean, Elf is number 1. And then I probably go with Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Okay.
And then I probably go with the claymation Rudolph. I really like that movie.
Like the OG, like older ones?
The OG. Yeah. I really liked that.
Yeah. Is that the one with the Abominable Snowman one? Is that
I believe
part
so.
of that one?
Yeah.
Kris Kringle. I mean, those are solid picks. Before I go into mine, do you know about how polarizing Jim Carrey's The Grinch was when it first came out, or like in or around that time?
Was it? Why?
So people didn't like it. People thought it was like very like slanderous to like Christmassy tradition, whatever, because it's so different and it's so, I think, against the grain for what Christmas and like traditions and themes and stuff like that are for, and what maybe the original the Grinch, obviously, it's Dr. Seuss, it's a cartoon, but the more adult kind of themes in it, it was I don't want to say big problem, but a lot of people didn't like it when it first came out.
If you are watching this right now and you're one of those people that like said that Jim Carrey's The Grinch was bad for Christmas, you're stupid. Thank you.
Max. Yeah, no, it's yeah. If I had to go into mine, I think Home Alone's number 1. I would also go The Grinch, and I have to say Elf. Like, as far as growing up, like, I think those are the ones that I watched the most. Home Alone's just still been a top one for me. I love John Hughes as a director, 80s into obviously Home Alone's in the 90s, but yeah, can't go wrong with Kevin. Like, just chef's kiss. I don't have a tradition like you watching with my family, but Yeah, I would go Home Alone.
That's fair. Home Alone's a good one. Christmas Vacation's another good one.
Yeah, my dad likes that one quite a bit.
There's a newer one.
Mm-mm.
What's it called? Not Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
That's not what I'm
okay.
talking
I thought you were
about.
gonna say like they did
No,
a
there's
remake.
oh my god, I can't think of the name of it right now. The Christmas Chronicles. Solid movie.
I don't even know what that is.
You should watch it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
You and your girlfriend. Joe has a girlfriend.
I
Guys.
have a girlfriend.
I think that you guys will. I think you'd like it. There's two. There's two of them, and I think it's. Oh God, who plays Santa? Someone like pretty big. Kurt Russell, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty solid.
I feel like I've seen a commercial with him as Santa recently. Maybe
I think
that's
you're
wrong.
thinking of the John Travolta one.
I am thinking of the John Travolta one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Very different people, but
Close enough.
all right, Christmas songs. Oh,
I have a question.
Yes. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
You're so dumb, dude. You're so dumb.
Not a Christmas movie.
It
a
is.
hot dog is not a sandwich. Have a good day.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It takes place on Christmas.
Therefore, every single Harry Potter movie is a Christmas movie.
That's fine. I associate it more with Christmas than I associate it with summer.
I associate it with fall.
So, I mean, Harry Potter, the issue there is that it takes place over the entire year.
For a whole year.
Yeah. Die Hard's one night. It's Christmas. It's literally Christmas.
Not a Christmas movie.
If John McClane is wearing a Santa hat while crawling through the vents, and when he says, let's get together, have a few drinks, is it a Christmas movie for you then?
I prefer Matt McClane.
Okay. From the Reds getting traded. I think Die Hard's a Christmas movie, and that's okay that you disagree.
Let us know in the comments down below. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And I'll be sure to know how many of you are wrong.
I don't know what the popular opinion is these days. I think people will say no, though.
Oh, you do? I think people will say yes.
Interesting. Okay. Set in your ways. So, for Christmas songs, this is one that I feel like I'm pretty new age with. I think it's similar to movies. My number one is one that I actually kind of maybe not new age. I don't know. It's just not the traditional like Dean Martin, whatever, Frank Sinatra Christmas songs. Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys absolutely bangs. I love that song. I love the Beach Boys so much. Number two is Last Christmas by Wham. I think that one, I can just jam out to that one. And then my third is probably Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande.
Yes, dude, it's so good.
It's so good. Honorable mention,
so good.
Snowman by Sia. I don't know if I've heard that. Oh, dude, it's so good. So good.
So I'm a bit more traditional. I like my number one is probably Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brandon Lee.
Okay.
It's a good one. Gosh, this is tough. I do really like the Ariana Grande song, but I'm not going to say it because you already said it.
Yeah.
There's a Miley Cyrus one that's pretty good too.
I'm not sure about that one.
I can't think of it. Let me pull up some Christmas songs here. I was just listening to some on the way to get my haircut today, and now Let It Snow by Dean Martin. Yeah, I mean that's Jingle Bell Rock. Yeah, that's my number two. Jingle Bell Rock for sure.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go with I don't know.
Where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find
This
you?
is beautiful. I mean, I'm not gonna say All I Want for Christmas because it's just the most popular.
Yeah, I mean it's good though.
I'm going with Santa Tell Me.
No, go for it, dude. Santa Tell Me. It's right there. Have you listened to
the worst
dirty
Christmas song?
Oh, okay.
The dirty version?
There's a dirty version. There's a naughty list version.
By Ariana Grande?
Yeah.
I'm listening to it immediately after this podcast.
Fantastic. The worst Christmas song?
I have two.
Like Little Drummer Boy's kind of weak, kind of mid. Yeah. And then Santa Baby just makes me uncomfortable. Santa Baby. It's not like the worst, it just makes me uncomfortable like playing it in my place of work, my business, my store. And it's just like weird like vibes being played.
Both of those are incorrect.
Okay.
The worst one is Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Want a hippopotamus.
That song is
for
so
Christmas.
annoying.
Yeah.
Or Two Front Teeth.
So, okay. I think both of yours stem from a similar place.
They do.
Yeah.
They're annoying.
They're annoying, yes.
Well, let us know in the comments down below what your favorite Christmas songs are. And Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you guys for all the love this year. It's been a pretty fun little season, even though the Mariners haven't done anything over this holiday season. So we'll be back again coming up next week as well with New Year's and whatnot. and going hard on it in 2024. We appreciate you guys watching episode 46 of the Hit It Here podcast, and go Mariners.